lacrosse season is upon us once more. Opening the season this weekend against Concordia in Ann Arbor and Missouri Western State. Before we get to that, though, preseason polls released recently. We're the only team other than Grand Valley State to get a first-place vote, finishing tied second there in that poll. Does that seem about where you thought this team would be?
I think that yes, but it is going to be a really close fight this year. The GLIAC teams are all improving, and Davenport's dropping a little bit. So the bottom three teams have all kind of risen to the same level. So I think we're in for a lot more tight battles this year than you'd seen in the past, because lacrosse games can kind of swing in one way or the other pretty easily. And this year, I think that we're set to have a pretty full schedule of games that every draw is going to matter, and it's going to take a lot of work. And I also think our entire conference is rising towards Grand Valley, and that's been really cool to see too. But yeah, I was a little shocked to see the one first place vote, but I think it's been a testament to how well our athletes have performed against the better teams in our conference and against non-conference last year. So those kids are now older, and they're getting more respect, which is neat to see.
You talk about returning some top players. 6 all GLIAC players from a year ago. 3 graduated, but you get Bass, Patel, and Regal all back. What does the veteran leadership look like on this team? It's
really been exciting to see Patel and Regal step into the leadership roles. They're both captains this year. Maddie Bast is a sophomore, but even her, the maturity level, the changes I've seen in this year in her are significant, and her stick skills and her lacrosse IQ has improved so much. Her and Minnie Patel are working so well together that our offense is moving in a way that I haven't seen from this team ever, and it's definitely because of the experience of those two, and also their willingness to share the ball this year has really improved the rest of our team and allowed some other players that are more ball distributors instead of scorers to really rise this year, and I think that's really exciting. Lauren Regal, she's been the backbone of our defense her whole career, so obviously having her back is really helpful, and Heather Beebe's also a senior on defense. The other 2 that are going to start are sophomores. So having that base of those 2 seniors is going to make us a really solid, confident back there, which is nice, especially because we are going to play a freshman goalie this year. So it's important for Lauren to be at the level that she's at. We're gonna lean on her a little bit.
Well, a freshman goalie, just one of 9 incoming freshmen, feels like a pretty decent sized class. So, Coach, who should we be looking out for in this class? Who do you anticipate is gonna be making a big impact here in their first season for you?
Our freshman goalkeeper, Hannah Melander, she was runner-up for Miss Goalie Lacrosse in Minnesota, which is a thing there. She's an excellent goalkeeper. She's a really good get for us. She really likes Northern. She specifically wanted to do a program we have here, and she really raises the level of our team to a level that we couldn't have been without a goalkeeper of that caliber. So she is the freshman to watch. We also have one of our freshmen, Bella Detienne. She was on the runner-up state championship team in Minnesota, so she knows what it's like to play at the higher level. It's already been very neat to see her. She's a distributor, so see her start moving the ball around. She works really well with Minnie and Maddie and some of our midfielders that are more drive-based. She knows how to feed. She knows how to move the ball. So those are the 2 that I expect to have the easiest transition, but we do have a couple grittier midfielders that are freshmen that are going to make an impact too. Maya Snyder, also out of Minnesota. She's really impressed me. She reminds me a lot of our junior, Caitlin Bridger, and she's had a lot of success. So I think it'll just be fun to see them as they get experience and their fear level decreases, start to really flourish at the college level. So hopefully Hannah doesn't have that much fear level, because we need that. Yeah.
So one of the things I noticed when I was going over the schedule for this season is I'm looking up and down, and I see there's a whole lot of little @ symbols and not a lot of verse.
Yes.
Now that's something that I've come to learn is a sweeping challenge across our athletic department, is just finding opponents who are willing to make the trek all the way up here and play us. So I'd be interested to get your perspective on the scheduling challenges that face this program, and also does that kind of seep down to your players and create almost like a it's Northern versus the world, like nobody wants to come up here and deal with what we deal with type mentality?
It certainly builds a toughness because we are in such a unique place and we do have such a unique facility, and it does build the Northern versus everyone mentality, and I think that's been really fun to grow too, especially because we don't have the number of Michigan kids we have is shrinking, and so it's all people that chose to come to a destination school, and they're so proud of their destination school that even though other people aren't willing to come here, they're like, well, Northern's the greatest, so they're missing out, and we're going to go on the road and we're going to win at their house because we've been through so much just to be where we are at Northern. But the road games this year, so we had a team in our conference, Upper Iowa, cut their program. So that dropped us down 2 more games than we were supposed to have. So we had to backfill that with away games. But ultimately, Upper Iowa, the competition level wasn't great, and we've filled those games with top teams in the Midwest. So that could raise our strength of schedule significantly, which would be great. And also, it's a great test because I think we have an exciting amount of talent this year that I'm hopeful if we can use it right, we could see more success than we've ever seen before, which would be really cool. But obviously, only having 5 home games this year is not ideal. And in the month of March, we will have so many road games. But they're in good shape. They're tough. They're used to bus rides, and we do play well on the road. So I'm excited to see us step up into that. But I'm glad that we're opening up at home because having back-to-back games both in the Dome is a really cool way to start your season. So, yeah.
Now let's talk about those back-to-back games. You got Concordia and Ann Arbor coming to the house on Saturday, Missouri Western State on Sunday. Coach, your thoughts on the matchups ahead?
Concordia Ann Arbor is a NAI program, obviously from Ann Arbor. The NAIs in downstate Michigan are some of the better NAIs in lacrosse, so I'd expect a decent level of competition from them, but it isn't there. We'd gone on a 3-year in a row streak of playing the former national champion in our first game of the year, so it's a little bit different choice scheduling wise. But ultimately our goal for that is to not underestimate them, come out, play our own game plan, and to start trying to work kinks out because we've had a long preseason this year. It's a lot of practicing against yourselves. So that Ann Arbor game is going to be crucial for us figuring out different flow things on offense and the communication on defense. And it's a good first test for Hannah. Yeah, and then Missouri Western, they are ranked 3rd in the GLVC this year. So, and I think they're a pretty even team with us. So we're starting right at the bat with a game that could come down to the wire. They're very tough. They're only in their 3rd year as a program, but they're right in that area in Kansas City. They get some really good transfer athletes. They also, their coaches started to try to recruit Minnesota. So I want to really stake my claim on our Minnesotans and make sure that we have a good showing against them. But I'm excited for that game because that'll be a good first test because we then go down and play a lot of GLVC teams that are ranked similar to them, and those could all be close games. So I think this first one should be a testament to how the next 3 weeks will go.